Welcome to the channel. If you're returning, welcome back. I've been taking some polls on what everyone wants to hear about, and by a landslide, it's about the modern Kawasaki W Series. If you're looking for information on the modern Kawasaki W Series, you've made it to the right place. I personally ride a 2020 Kawasaki W800, which I absolutely love. Sorry for the spoiler. If you didn't know, it's one of my favorite motorcycles I've ever owned. The W800 has many modern features, including a positive neutral finder, LED lighting, anti-lock brake systems, and a slipper clutch, as well as features fuel injection, which, yes, requires another computer, and negates tuning of carburetors. The W800 does not include a Kickstarter. Fuel injection requires enough voltage in the battery to be functional, whereas a carburetor motorcycle can be started without a battery with kickstart or push start. The Kawasaki W Series 650 and 800 are both true parallel twins, meaning side-by-side cylinders or inline twins, where the pistons move parallel to each other. This is being rather pedantic, as the average person calls most inline twins parallel, even if they don't have a 360-degree crank. Most inline twin motorcycles today are 270-degree twins, which was done partially to make it sound more like a V-twin, which frankly I don't understand, because there are such things as V-twins. And they claim they are smoother, but that's what counterbalancers are for. And the 360-degree twin is smooth running engine with certain vibe ranges, so you know exactly where you're at in the rev range. Never intrusive or problematic. The seating position is neutral with a slightly curved bench seat. The stock version of this did not work for me at all. I have an old but significant tailbone injury, and the curve of this seat just happened to put more pressure exactly where I didn't want it. I've switched mine out to the comfort seat number 5 by Omega Racer. Everyone wants to know specs, and I do have full videos on the specs of the Kawasaki W800. Feel free to look through my catalog. The thing I will tell you is that most riders will never use the full performance capabilities of most modern motorcycles while lawfully riding on public roads. The Kawasaki W800 is not intended to be a modern performance motorcycle, so just let go of that if you're interested in a W800. It does have plenty of go. It is on the heavier side for its displacement and its age, due to being made with steel instead of lower weight and cost alloys and plastics. Omega Racer does have aluminum or aluminium replacement parts if you're seriously concerned about leaning up the modern W Series to a more acceptable weight. Would recommend getting sticky tires for the modern W Series, as the Dunlop stock tires on the W in the USA performed like a tire from the late 60s, as well as looking like tires from the late 60s. I replaced mine with the Michelin Road Classics, and it made a huge difference. Suddenly the twisties didn't require so much slowdown before entering. Slow in and fast out is still the mantra, but these tires are much stickier than the stock Dunlops and allowed for much more confidence at speed and in corners. There is no wind protection on the W Series. This is a classic motorcycle design if I've ever seen one, with some modern cues. The faster you go, the more wind you feel. Because of this, I tend not to ride mine on the interstate, but it's absolutely capable of doing so. It has a 5-speed transmission, with 5th gear being overdrive. Usually, 6-speed motorcycles have a tall first gear, then close gearing from 2 through 5, and then an overdrive at 6th. I was used to the 6-gear transmission, so I was confused at first about the lack of a 6th gear, but now it makes total sense to me. The best roads for the W800 are 2-lane state highway systems, even through mountains and twisties, with speed limits maxing out around 50 miles an hour. The W is nimble, steady-footed, with the Michelin Road Classics, Predictable as a gentleman's steed and looks like a resto mod from the 60s. The bubble drive camshaft is absolutely gorgeous. Do yourself a massive favor, and if you ever come across a Modern W Series, see if you can take it for a test drive. You might just fall in love with it. Keep the shiny side up, the rubber side down, and keep it wheeled.